Hello, welcome back to Learning Curves. I'm Anastasia, and thank you. Welcome and thank you. If you are watching this video, I'm going to assume that you are one of the good ones who wants to make a breastfeeding woman comfortable and understands that it's not about you, it's about her feeding her baby. Or you are a breastfeeding woman who's wondering if I got it right. And would you please comment below and let me know if I left something out or if this is not at all how you feel. I think this is how most people feel, but I would really love to know if I'm wrong. I get it. If you're not lactating, it can be really hard to understand what that's like. I actually haven't had a lot of negative public breastfeeding experiences. I haven't had a lot of public breastfeeding experiences. Most of my breastfeeding experiences that haven't just been with my husband have been with family. However, it is summer, we are getting out there a little more, and I have had some more experiences around other people, and it's clear that a lot of people, especially men, don't know what to do when I'm breastfeeding around them. So I wanted to share in this video how you can behave around a breastfeeding woman. So I think a lot of people think that when a woman is breastfeeding in public, that she's super comfortable. I remember before I breastfed, hearing women say, you don't care. You just don't care. And I still kind of cared. So, not every woman has this experience of wanting to be really modest and covered, but you do see videos and commercials and whatever of women like blankets over and, trying to kind of cover up our baby and whatever flesh we are showing. If we're taking societal requirements out of it, if we're taking like judgment out of it from other people and just what I'm comfortable with, I don't want to show my breasts to people in public. That's not what I'm doing. I want to feed my baby, and this is how I'm doing it. Trying to, at least. I've got other videos about that. Whether or not to breastfeed is a whole other conversation. Breast is best, but I also know it's not right for everyone, and I don't want to shame women who know that's not the right decision for them, so I guess I'm touching on the subject. But anyway, I do not have a full supply of breast milk, which means that I need to supplement my baby. And I gotta tell you, it doesn't matter how I'm feeding my baby in public, I am uncomfortable. Either I'm breastfeeding my baby and I'm trying not to show the world my breast, or I'm bottle feeding my baby and I'm concerned I'm going to be publicly shamed for that. I'm just ready for somebody to be like, you should be breastfeeding, blah, blah. But then it's also, when you're breastfeeding, you should be doing that in private, blah, blah, blah. Eating is a social thing. Like, meals are social things. Babies, especially tiny babies, start eating every 3 hours, and you're supposed to feed them on both sides, or at least offer the second side. Think about that juggling act of sitting there for 10 minutes on this side. Okay, well, and I gotta figure out how to cover this up, and then I gotta get this one uncovered, and not to mention you got an upset baby, and if you have a large supply, you're spraying milk everywhere, and if you have a low supply, you're probably trying to hold your breasts in the best way so that you can help compress to get as much milk out as you can, and massage to get the milk moving, and there's a lot going on. That whole process can take a very long time. And you think about that process starting every 3 hours, and you say, cool, every time that starts, go to a bathroom or a closet or a private room where you're not around anyone else. Even though everybody else is eating and drinking in this room, your baby can't, because that's inappropriate. That's the whole reason we've got these things, is to feed our babies, even though mine aren't good at it. So I find that what happens most of the time when I can tell someone's uncomfortable is men will react like I am topless sitting in the middle of this room. And they will walk in and, sorry, and run out of the room. I mean, honestly, hormones are so important to breast milk production, both the volume that you're making and also the accessibility of it to the baby. So if adrenaline's pumping through my body, I'm not gonna be feeding my baby as much as if I have a lot of oxytocin, the love hormone, pumping through my body. So if you're uncomfortable, I'm going to be uncomfortable, probably, and I don't want to feel uncomfortable because then my baby's not going to get as much milk. So if you're not going to be comfortable in the room with me while I'm breastfeeding and you're comfortable leaving the room, thank you. That is lovely. Thank you so much. However, you don't have to leave the room. If I'm sitting in a room with you and I start to try to feed my baby, it's likely that I'm enjoying your company and that I don't want to leave the space. Also, I could just be comfortable, but I bet you're lovely. But you are welcome to stay in that environment. Or if you're in another room and you're walking in, I understand that you're there and you could possibly walk in. If I needed to have privacy, I would go into another room and close the door. However, if I am feeding my baby in a room around you, you don't need to leave. I know you're there. So something you could do would be to try to treat any breastfeeding woman as if she were bottle feeding her baby. When you're bottle feeding your baby, it's not I'll leave the room. You don't You don't have to be really embarrassed. Like, the baby's just eating. However, I would suggest that you not get too comfortable. It's happened where I've had men who have been around breastfeeding women, like their partners have breastfed, who will kind of no. Again, I'm not trying to show you my breasts. I'm trying to feed my baby, and I need my breasts to do that. So when a woman's bottle feeding her baby, is it okay to stare at her breasts? No. Or like, ever? No. So let's not stare at her breasts while we are breastfeeding. So you can offer her something, see if there's something she needs to help. Could I get you some water? Breastfeeding women are always thirsty. Or would you like a pillow? Sometimes resting your arm, it's not, just asking her if she needs anything to make her more comfortable is lovely. It acknowledges, I see that you're doing some work here. I want you to feel comfortable. Can I get you anything? The only difference with breastfeeding and bottle feeding is that part of her body is exposed, and hopefully, whatever, do what you want to do. But for me, hopefully, most of it's covered by baby's head, and I don't tend to do the blanket thing, because, think about having to eat all your food under a blanket. Like, if you go to the beach and there's seagulls who are trying to eat your food, you have to eat under towels and things. It's super uncomfortable. It's hot. Plus babies are curious, and they want to look around, especially my almost 9-month-old. She's latched and then pops off, and latched, pops off, and it's really uncomfortable, and it makes me nervous that I'm going to lose what little supply I have from dripping from her popping off, and that, there's that much more likelihood of someone, seeing my body, which is, I guess, fine. It's a risk I know I'm taking being around people, but I don't want to show you my breasts. They're mine. I want to feed my baby, and in the order of things, it's like, I care about feeding my baby, I prefer to stay comfortable, and I prefer to not risk you seeing my breasts. Well, that for me is third. If that was higher than staying comfortable, then I'd leave the room. But I'm okay risking showing you my breasts, but I don't want to just, and other women don't care. If you would like to get more comfortable being around a breastfeeding woman, I do recommend that you, I think the way to, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a creeper, but, the way to make yourself more comfortable with anything is to have more exposure to it. So I don't recommend that you, seek out breastfeeding women, because if you are a man, that's going to be very creepy. But I think that you can Google maybe some more information about breastfeeding. If you do any research about breastfeeding, you're going to hear women talking about breastfeeding, you're going to see images of women breastfeeding, or you could look up breastfeeding clothing online. There are always pictures of women breastfeeding, but they're still covered up for the most part. So if you are uncomfortable around me breastfeeding, but I am breastfeeding around you, if you feel like you need to remove yourself from the room, I appreciate you not kicking me out. However, you're welcome to stay. Please just treat me as you would treat me if I were bottle feeding my baby. So that's it. Again, thank you so much for wanting to be part of helping to make a breastfeeding woman more comfortable. Taking care of babies is hard. Being a mom is hard. Breastfeeding is hard. These are all knowns, right? Everybody knows being a mom is hard. Everybody knows breastfeeding is hard. And yet you want to tell a mom who's breastfeeding, you want to add restrictions by telling her she has to get out of the room. It's exhausting. Obviously, you don't, and thank you. Thank you for watching this video and for being someone who wants to make a breastfeeding woman feel more comfortable. That's it. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like this video and please subscribe. I'm gonna stop pointing because I don't know where it is. Hold on. Here, right? Did I do it? Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye. I don't understand why we're so uncomfortable around a woman who's got this much of her breast exposed when we, go to the beach, especially this time of year, and see women with this much of their breasts exposed. I feel like swimsuits are finding all kinds of new ways to expose extra flesh. And it's like, oh, cool, yeah, we're at the beach, so that's fine. I think this is how most people feel, but I would really love to know if I'm wrong. Said no one ever except me always. Kind of. Not always. Not when my husband's concerned. He can't tell me when I'm wrong. Because I'm also never wrong when I'm wrong. Oh.